What is going on, guys? It is Stormcat here, back with another Terraria tutorial, and in this one I'm going to show you guys how to get the dye trader and what it is used for. So guys, look at our little dye trader down here, getting wrecked by our kitty cats. Let's get right on into how to actually get the dye trader in your world and what it is used for. If you want to know any other NPC guides, click the cards in the top right. There will be links for you to get other NPCs as well. So guys, to start, the dye trader NPC is an NPC that sells the dye vat and other dye related items. He will move in when the following criteria has been met. You have an empty house, which is 10 blocks by 4 blocks, has a lighting source, table, chair, torches, and is covered in walls. If you need a guide on how to make a proper house, there is a guide in the top right there for you in case you need that. Next, you will need any material used to craft dye is in the player's inventory. An example is the yellow marigold. You can find them on the surface level, or a strange plant. Things like that. If it is used to craft any dye, you are eligible to get the dye trader. Now guys, it gets a little iffy with the next criteria. Either you need a strange plant, or you have to have defeated the Eye of Cthulhu, Skeletron, Eater of Worlds / Brain of Cthulhu. If you don't find a strange plant, you will have to defeat one of these bosses for the dye trader. Once the dye trader has moved in to your world, these are the things that will be available for purchase. Always available, you will be able to buy the dye vat, which is a dye crafting station, and silver dye. If you are on a multiplayer server, you will be able to craft the team dye. During Halloween, you will be able to buy the dye trader robe and turban. Now guys, you can give the dye trader these special plants that you find called strange plants, and he will give you a random dye depending on how far in the game you are. So you will always be able to get the acid, the red acid, blue acid, glowing mushroom, purple ooze, reflective gold, reflective silver, reflective obsidian, reflective copper, reflective metal, negative, shadow, and mirage dye. Those will always be available no matter what in the dye pool when you give it a strange plant. Next guys, after hard mode, these are the dyes that will be available. The Twilight Dye, the Hades Dye, which is a really cool one, the Burning Hades Dye, another really cool one, Shadow Flame Hades Dye, Grim, Phase, Shifting Sands, and Gel Dye. Next guys, after you have defeated one mechanical boss, doesn't matter which one, you will be able to get the Chlorophyte Dye, the Living Flame Dye, the Living Rainbow Dye, which is one of my favorites, and the Living Ocean Dye. After defeating Plantera, you will be able to get the Wisp, Pixie, Unicorn Wisp, and Infernal Wisp dyes. After defeating the Martian Madness event, you will be able to get the Martian Dye or the Midnight Rainbow Dye. After defeating Moonlord, you will be able to get Skiff's Blood dye from strange plants. So guys, that is pretty much it for the dye trader. As long as you have defeated Skeletron, Eye of Cthulhu, or Destroyer of Worlds, any of those bosses, or you have found a strange plant, you will be able to get the dye trader. Strange plants aren't very hard to find, so this NPC isn't very hard to get. You will also need a valid housing space. The dye trader gives you a big variety of dyes for those strange plants and can also give you a dye vat in the shop. Hope you guys enjoyed this video on the dye trader and everything it is used for, and I will see you guys in the next video.